Are you a mompreneur? Like, have you ever felt like you're trying to juggle everything, as a working from home mom, like balancing the kids and the housework and a growing business? Or perhaps you've wondered, like, is it even possible to run a thriving business from home and still have time to really, truly enjoy your family life? So, if you are ready to love your mom life again and start scaling your business all at the same time, this episode is for you. Because today we are joined by Alyssa Wolff, who's going to be sharing her secret strategies for mastering time management, eliminating mom guilt, and creating work from home life that actually works for you. Does this sound good? Like if you're a mompreneur, you should be like shouting words. That's what that is. Alyssa is going to be sharing lots of practical tips on how to make your workday easier and more productive so that you can tick off your to-do list, be present with your kids, and just still find time for yourself. Hello, sounds amazing. Well, here we go. Welcome to Momentum Maker Podcast. I'm awesome Angie Ingstrom, honoring the awesomeness in you.
And I'm Gitte. And once again, I just want to say a big welcome, Alyssa. We're so happy to have you. Welcome.
Thank you, Angie and Gitte.
Thank you. And I just want to say to all the listeners, get your notebooks if you're a mompreneur and get ready to take lots of notes because I'm sure Alyssa will be dropping lots of gold. So, yeah, for those of you who don't know Alyssa, let me just start by doing a short bio. Alyssa is a business productivity coach, having 5 kids herself in 10 years and homeschooling them. She empowers work from home moms to earn great incomes in part-time hours. Alyssa is on a mission to help mompreneurs create a work-life balance that they love. And I love your mission. So thank you for joining us and sharing it, Alyssa. Thank you.
Excited to be on with you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, welcome to Momentum Maker Podcast. And so that was our version of your bio. How about you give us your 10-second elevator pitch, Alyssa, from your words?
I help business moms who want to de-stress their have-it-all version of life. Like maybe you don't even feel like you can have it all. Yes, you can, because I've got 5 kids.
Aha, say that again, your have it all life. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Have it all life. Nice. I like it. Okay. So obviously you've got, a lot going on, kids, homeschooling, whatnot, the five, within 10 years, like you've got a lot going on. Um, did you have your business started prior to the family, or did you start the business during your family, or what inspired this whole business?
Well, the business started when my fifth baby was 7 months old. I had been looking for it for the past 13 years. I just didn't know that online business was going to be the answer for me. I intended to find that in university, but didn't work out.
Aha, okay. So what was your degree in university?
Interdisciplinary. Sounds wonderful, I know. I ended up saying, I cannot be a teacher. I do not like being in front of a class. I'm just going to graduate with my degree as fast as I can. So I sped everything up and was like, all right, I guess I will start with the raising the family aspect. But what is going to be my purpose? How am I going to give back to the world, mentor other women? I still want this. I just couldn't think of a way to do that and still be a stay-at-home mom raising my one, two, three, four, and then 5 kids.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. So
So,
go ahead,
um,
Giddy.
yeah, I was just gonna say, what made you dive into online coaching?
When the youngest was 6 months old, I heard someone on a podcast talk about online business. I don't know what rock I was living under. I had never heard of it before. And so I was like, wow, this could be the answer. Like, yes, you've got to learn a whole new set of marketing and strategies, make courses and online content, websites and stuff. But I could be here in the comfort of my own home, transforming other women's families. This sounds great. So I gave myself like 30 days to think about it. I was like, okay, sure, I'm going for it. So coaching courses done for you, I was like, I'll land somewhere in there, but I think I'm going to have to go with the time management aspect because that's what comes easily to me. And people usually think, okay, 3 kids is a bit much. Well, I've got 5.
Wow, that's amazing. So, okay, so you were in university, you graduated, and did you get married all during that time too? Or like how much of a gap was there between university and your business and your
But well,
family?
basically, no gap at all. I crammed a 4-year degree into 2.5 years, got married the next month, got pregnant as fast as I could, had the kids, and then heard about the business 13 years later.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. All right. I knew there was a missing piece there. Okay. So your 7 month old is when you started um like is that when you started your business or you
That
started
is,
that
that's when I
is
started the
okay.
business.
Okay. So you had a newborn at home, started a business, you just graduated college and just got married, like right? All of that all in the within like what a year or so it sounds like.
Well, no, graduated college, got married, had the kids, since, that takes a little while. And then since it was, the 5 kids in 10 years, so we're talking like 10 years or so later,
Gotcha.
started the business. So I had all the 10-year-old and the 8-year-old and the 6-year-old and the 3-year-old and the
Gotcha.
newborn.
Somehow I heard the seven. I got confused somewhere with the 7 month old. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
I ge-
yeah, I was just
Youngest,
gonna say, I'm just gonna clarify. You started your business about 5.5 years ago. Is that correct?
yeah.
Okay, got
So the
it.
youngest of the kids was 7 months old.
Yeah.
podcast math. All right, we'll move on. Oh my gosh, it's a lot of children and a lot of love. I love I just love the mission that you're on, and to be able to run a business as a woman, as a mom, and you're homeschooling, like that's awesome. That's really great that you're able to do that and help other women do the same. Is that kind of what you help women do?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's like a huge ripple effect. If you can show up without the frazzle for your own kids and for your business, it's like imagine what your kids' memories of you will be like. Imagine how much more enjoyment you get back. And then all the other people you're able to help, your own business is going to grow. You're going to be so much more impactful and insightful when you're not, half sleep deprived and no self-care, trying to just hustle your way through your next few clients. Like, this is going to be amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, I only have one daughter who I'm homeschooling, and I think that's a lot. So I can only be in total awe of you, Alyssa. So I wanted to ask you, what's one strategy that has made the biggest impact for your clients, if you had to mention just one?
Just one, I'd stick with time blocking. This is what erases the working mom guilt. If you're like, these are the business hours, these are the kid hours, there's no guilt about if I'm on the phone, the computer, or spending time with my kids instead of answering my inbox. Completely gets rid of that.
Can you walk us through what that looks like? Because if you've got all these kids in your house that I assume at some point are, they want your attention, but if you're time blocking, how do you explain that to them? What does that actually look like? Like, how do you set that boundary with them? And your husband
Yes.
too. I'm throwing him in there also.
Oh, yes. Well, they don't really know any different because I raised them from the beginning to have mom time blocking, like self-care for me. So that was the afternoon nap time. It morphed into afternoon business time. And before you get out of your room in the morning, mommy is doing business time. So they understand that I've always had other things I was going to do. I'm just not going to do it right when they're having breakfast or eating lunch or trying to clean up the kitchen. That is when I'll do my housework and homeschooling right alongside them.
Gotcha. And I assume that's probably a big thing that you work on teaching moms how to do because I don't think that comes natural for most women to be able to set that time aside and just say, this is mom's time.
Yes.
And here's what you're doing during this time, and but you're not to interrupt, I don't know if you have boundaries on emergencies, like, that's a good learning tool too. Like, what is an emergency versus
Emergency is not, I got bored with my toy.
exactly, exactly. There's so many wonderful lessons that can be found when you're raising kids at home with and running a business. That's awesome. How about
Yes.
another one? Another strategy that has impacted your clients?
Well, next one would definitely have to be the delegation because no, if you are having kids still at home or you're sending them off to school, you need to pack lunches, and you're running a business, I'm sorry, you cannot hit every single thing and still have time for your own journaling or meditation and workouts and family time and all this stuff you're supposed to get to. Like it physically does not fit in your hours if you still want to sleep. So you're going to have to let go of some of this, which can take a lot of getting used to. It's kind of a new identity shift to say, for sure, I still have standards. My house has to be clean, but maybe I'm not the one scrubbing the toilets anymore. So whether it's like paid outsourcing or you're outsourcing to your kids, which is what I do, so I can go into crazy detail on that. But you have to get it off your plate and start stripping back some of what you are responsible for in the day, week, and month.
Nice. So you do outsource quite a bit in your house,
Yes.
like for like the actual chore, like household stuff.
Yes. I mean, my kids are now to the ages I can even outsource some of the cooking, but it means that standard like cleaning and laundry is nearly all outsourced. I'm still writing the grocery list. I'm still menu planning. I'm still driving to the store. We don't have any other drivers. I'm still doing some of the sharp knife stuff, but not all of it. Again, I've got teens.
Mm.
I love it. I
And
love it.
do we have a special kind of method for getting them on board on this, or because I know your kids grew up that way, but not all kids grow up that way.
That one, I say, okay, I'm not a parenting coach, but my advice will be this is your new house rule. So tell the clients just go back to whatever standards you have for your own kids. Well, mommy's doing a new thing. You are now going to learn to XYZ, empty dishwashers, make your beds, putting away stuff, learn to wash the dishes that don't fit in the dishwasher, whatever it is. And the reason, if you need to talk yourself into it, is you want them to have life skills, right? And know how
Mm.
to stain treat their laundry, handle a spill on the floor. Well, don't wait till they're 16. They're going to push back like crazy if you dump all the work that goes into running a house on them. Just start up gradually from first grade on, and then they'll know how to do everything.
Mm.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Um,
nice.
okay, so um, gosh, I'm trying to think. Gitte, do you have any questions on that? Any other strategies you want to share, Alyssa? Because these are really good.
Well, the paired strategy to that, of course, is make sure you're delegating in your business too. Like whatever your zone of genius is, don't be sitting around doing too much of the admin work when in reality, you could take on more clients, do the part that you love if you had someone else. I mean, it's all the basics we know, right? Schedule the social media, answer your inbox, but think higher level than that. What else can someone else take off your plate? As soon as you're making, like upper five figures, maybe like middle five figures too, you need to be getting some of this stuff off instead of viewing it as a badge of honor to see what revenue level you can hit as a solopreneur. Like that is not the thing we should be going for as moms who are also running businesses.
Re-clarify that last statement. What should they not be going after?
The badge of how high, like how big can I grow my business with just me doing it all.
Okay, gotcha. With just you doing
Yeah,
it all. Okay.
get help. Yeah, delegate. Yeah, I love that message. So important.
Well,
Don't
even
get
just
stuck in
as
that
go ahead, Alyssa.
Don't get stuck in that trap of, well, but maybe I'll save more money doing it on your own.
Yeah.
No, think about your brain space. Think about enjoying your business again. Just outsource, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not
Eh,
meant to be doing anything alone. Like you're raising a family, doing a business, like it's a community thing, bringing in people that can help in support roles. That's awesome. That's great that you're able to, basically when people come to you, is that where they don't necessarily have those skills in place and you help them to kind of get these things in their life? Because I know you mentioned um, you're not a parenting coach, but yet you're more of a productivity coach, right? Is that
Yes. So I
okay?
can set up like the calendar, the to-do list, the project plans, the outsource this in your business, outsource this in your home. But clients may come to me saying, well, I don't have any of that and I would like it. Or, well, I do have a graphic designer, but I can only use her when I'm doing a launch. Like, well, why? Why can't you give her a few more hours if you're stressing out over your social media content? Well, I had a VA when I got really busy 2 years ago, but I don't think I should be having a permanent VA. Yes, and you just told me that you feel like you're working too many hours, you don't have enough time to spend with your kids. And if we pulled you back 4 hours a week and you spend, half an hour every single workday, you would feel a lot better. I know you've got 4 hours worth of work you can outsource to your VA. Well, I don't know. I could handle it. This isn't about you handling it. This is about you loving your life. So
Mm.
if giving someone 4 more hours worth of work is the only barrier, please go do it. So
Mm.
it's kind of scaling up what they're doing, finding inefficiencies, giving them permission to enjoy life more. If that means pulling back their hours, if it means asking for more childcare, like their kids are too young to go to school and they actually want to see more clients during the day, they just feel like they'd be a bad mom if they paid for another day of babysitting, all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So what would be sort of the most typical pain point your clients have when they come to you?
They're working more than they want to on parts of their business they don't like. And they're also honestly usually working too much around the house. They just don't usually realize they can stop doing some of that.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
it is interesting because if you don't grow up in a household that has, people cleaning it for your parents or doing the laundry for your parents, like if you don't grow up in that environment, you don't even think about it. Like it's,
Mhm.
you know, it you, so that's interesting. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
just
that's
part of your programming. Okay, I run every single thing around the house. And oh, I guess I'm allowed to outsource a little bit for my business, but I shouldn't do too much. I shouldn't think too highly of myself. Yes, and you're a mom. The other piece is like the self-care. Maybe you could handle most of the house and most of your business and most of your quality kid time, but when are you getting to recharge? And if you don't, how long is it? And it's probably months or a couple of years, and you're going to burn out and you're going to quit your business completely. And think of all the people you now cannot help because you didn't fill your own cup.
Mm. So important.
so that's probably the most common mistake that you see that people make is just not delegating enough. Is that, or is there any other common mistakes that you find your clients are doing?
They'll complain about a schedule and then they haven't actually shifted it. Like, I would like to take more time off with my kids. Okay. So I'm thinking, well, why don't you? Let's go see. Do you want Mondays off, Tuesdays off, Fridays off? So you get the 3-day weekends. What do we want? Well, I don't know. How long have you been thinking about this? Oh, for, the past 5 months. We have to get this on your calendar. We have to talk to whoever we need to, or you tell your team, whatever it's going to take. Like, what's not working about your day? Are you getting podcast interviews that go smack in the middle of your creative work time blocks? We need to go block your scheduler. Well, some people it might not work for them. Who's more important here? You or their schedule?
Mm.
Yeah, you mentioned time blocking in the beginning, and I think that's a big thing that a lot of people in general just have a hard time with. Again, if they didn't grow up in that with that kind of thinking, and it's just so interesting how people can put something in their schedule like going to a doctor's appointment or dentist appointment and they block it out, but then they can't block out, like you said, creative time or whatever it is you're doing for your business or your clients or whatever. You want to speak to time blocking a little bit?
Sure. Like one of the myths the mompreneurs struggle.
Uh-oh, did she freeze?
I think so.
Oh no. We can see you, but we cannot hear you, Alyssa.
Do you want
The
do
Zoom
you
does
want
not
to
like time blocking, so we're going to pause. Okay. All right, Alyssa, time blocking.
So the time blocking of it's not just your client calls, your sales calls, your doctor's appointments for your kids. It's also whatever business work needs to happen behind the scenes, whether it's the deep work or the small portion of admin that you may still be doing. you can't just use your flexible work from home, I'm here for my kids' life as an excuse to just constantly shrink and cut into your work hours. Like, I am all for being flexible, but if your kids need you for an extra 90 minutes during the day because the homeschooling math took a ridiculous length of time, you need to be prepared to make up those work hours somewhere else. Your website rebrand, if you're doing it yourself, is not going to happen without you swapping like that. And by all means, say, okay, someone else needs to do some more laundry for me or cook some more meals so I can get that 90 minutes back. But you can't just short your business and expect to hit your goals.
That's brilliant. Brilliantly said. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's
Yeah. Make it a priority, really. Yeah.
100%. It's like if business is just as important to you as the mom,
Mm.
then what gets cut is, housework and other things like that. It's not crucial to your identity that you dealt with the baseboards, that you scrubbed the shower. Okay, fine. Someone else will do that, or we can live without it this week.
Yeah.
and it's interesting. Everyone's got a different threshold of what they're okay with. Like some people that
Mm.
would just be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't imagine, my house not being clean." And that's a transition for some people. It's everyone's got their own level and I like what you were saying too about, they just choose what is it you want.
Yeah, it's like you can always hit those priorities, but you cannot tell me that you've got six different priorities in your life. Your calendar can't hold that many.
Mm.
Yeah.
You need to focus on what's most important, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Good
as business
message.
owners, that's why we got into business, to choose
Mm.
the way, to an extent. I mean, there's obviously every business comes with its things that are mandatory to work with, but especially if you're running family and whatever your life, no matter what it is, there's ways around it. Just if you can dream it up,
Mhm.
there's a way to figure it out. And if, and there's coaches in the world that help untangle that kind of stuff if necessary. Like if you can't figure it out yourself, there's people you can hire. It's always who, not how.
Yes.
Exactly.
Once you kind of explode that box of this is my set thing, I can only do it this way. Oops, that isn't working anymore. Well, tough luck on me. I have to be a martyr. No, no, no. Think creatively. Like, what are three different ways we could solve the problem? You don't have to pick any of them. You can say they're all too weird and out there, but then just go think up three more ways. You will eventually find something if you have decided, I have to do it differently and this has to work.
Mm.
Absolutely. Totally, totally get that. But that's a
Yeah.
hard one for a lot of people, though. People aren't trained like that.
Yes, it takes kind of a
Especially,
radical. Oh, go ahead,
yeah,
Gitte.
I think, yeah, I was just gonna say, I think especially many women would have problems with that. Especially, I think putting, I wouldn't say the career above, but on the same level actually as the kids and saying it's equally important. So, yeah.
Yes. It's like you have to have a certain amount of self-worth, I think, to say
Mm.
it's not my job to take the hit for everything that's getting crunched or going wrong. No, I am not cutting back my workouts and walks or whatever. I need that amount of movement in my day. If something can't happen off the project to-do list for the home, we're either going to pay someone to do it or we're going to live without it. Or we're going to say this is a busy season. It's okay to push it back for 10 weeks. It's fine.
Mm.
Yeah, that's an important thing to step back, also looking at schedule and season. And yeah, because a lot of people are just so into the minutia of the day. And then, okay, let's just take a breath, step back a little bit, look at the bigger picture. This is wonderful. Um,
Yes, I have that as a daily thing, actually. Just spend 20 minutes going over everything that happened that sticks out to me, either in a bad way or a good way. And that way, I am constantly making the tweaks and readjustments I need to handle everything with the business and five kids and school.
Now, do you do that like morning, evening? Like when do you put that into your day? That was a
I
golden
put
nugget,
that
by the way, if you didn't write that down, listeners.
I put it at the end of the afternoon, so the end of my workday. Because if I did it in the morning, I wouldn't have anything to like respond to. So for me, it's the way of like clearing out all the brain junk and frazzle, whatever came up for me during the day that is now mental load, pressure, oh, I'm not sure this went quite right. So that's where it fits best for me.
Nice.
Mm.
Okay.
And now
And
it's like life constantly changes, so you constantly need to rearrange things a little bit. Do you talk to your clients about that? How to handle something like that?
Yes. Basically, I'm telling them you need to have a reflection practice. You don't
Mm.
have to do it daily like I do, but please at least do it weekly because if you leave it just for monthly, you're probably not going to go deep enough. You won't have enough time to think of everything. And if for some reason you do, like you take yourself on an all-day retreat, you're going to come home with this giant mountain of things you want to change and you will feel totally overwhelmed.
Mm. True.
oh, that's wonderful. Awesome. So I think we probably should wrap this up, Gitte. What do you think? As we're wrapping this up, Alyssa, is there anything else like a quick actionable tip or like what's one golden nugget you want listeners to make sure that they heard today? Or maybe there's something still you wanted to share as we wrap this up.
Top takeaway is you can always change something. So whether it's your after supper clean up the kitchen routine that's bugging you, whether it's a business task or something about your marketing strategy you hate, don't just put up with the frustration, change it. There's always a tiny tweak you can make that will help you like your life better.
I
Love it.
love that. Don't put up with the frustration. Nice.
Excellent. You want to wrap us up, Gitte?
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up unless you have anything else to say, Alyssa.
No, I'm good. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks
Okay.
for joining us, Alyssa.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I'm just gonna say thank you so much for joining us, Alyssa. It's been such a pleasure having you here today. I think you've shared so many golden nuggets with our listeners, so I hope they've been taking notes and writing down in their notebooks. So thank you once again for joining us. I'm Gitte.
And I'm awesome Angie Ingstrom, honoring the awesomeness in all of you. And once again, thanks, Alyssa, for joining us today on Momentum Maker Podcast. Thank you, listeners, for listening in. We just like to remind you to keep your momentum, keep moving forward. And if you happen to be a coach or a consultant or a business owner, and you're spending too much time selling low ticket offers and you're ready to grow your business faster, using higher ticket offers, open up a tab on your browser and go to elitevirtualstages.com/template and grab your free template to learn how you can create your irresistible premium priced offer in less than 10 minutes. Yay! So once again, Alyssa, thank you for joining us. Thank you, listeners.